Now, in this video, we're going to determine the derivatives using the increment method. In using the increment method, we have 5 steps to follow. So this is our function. So our first thing to do is replace y by y plus delta y and x by x plus delta x. So this is the function. Let's replace y by y plus delta y. You can see. And x, this x by x plus delta x. That's why it became like this. So in step 2, transpose y to the right side of the equation. This y in here, let's transpose it to the right side. So from here, it became like this. When we transpose the y, the positive sign will be converted to the negative sign. In step 3, substitute the value of y is equals to f of x. It says here that the value of y, we should substitute it in here. What is the value of y? The value of y is f of x. So we are going to substitute it to this. So from this, it became delta y is equals to f of x plus delta x minus the value of y, f of x. So in step 4, divide the equation by delta x. This is our last equation. Let's divide it by delta x. Though delta y will be divided by delta x, this equation will be divided by the delta x. And our last step is determine the limits as delta x approaches to 0. So our final formula is the limit of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x as delta x approaches to 0. So let's have an example so we can understand it more clearly. Okay, let's have an example. So y is equals to 2x plus 3. In step 1, it says that we should replace y by y plus delta y. And let's replace x by 2 times x plus delta x plus 3. We replace the y by y plus delta y and the x by x plus delta x. That is the step 1. The step 2 is we are going to transpose y to the right side of the equation. So that will be delta y is equals to 2 times x plus delta x plus 3 minus y. We just transpose y's to the right side of the equation. Then step 3, we're going to substitute the value of y with the function. So delta y is equals to 2 times x plus delta x plus 3 minus the value of y, 2x plus 3. Then let's distribute 2 times x, that is 2x, 2 times delta x, that will be 2 delta x, plus 3. Then let's distribute the sign, negative 2x and negative 3. Okay? Do not be confused in here. We just distribute the sign and the sign. Okay? Then let's cancel everything that could be cancelled. Negative 3 plus positive 3 is 0. Negative 2x plus positive 2x is 0. So the remaining is 2 delta x. Now in step 4, we're going to divide the function by delta x. That is 2 delta x divided by delta x. Then let's cancel this one, cancel this one. Then in step number 5, we should find the limit as delta x approaches to 0. In here, we have no longer variable left. There is no delta x left in the equation. So the value of a constant is always a constant. So the answer is 2. Okay? Okay, let's have another example. It will be x plus delta x, then that is delta x squared. Delta x times delta x is equals to delta x squared minus 3, and then let's distribute the sign. That will be negative x squared minus 3. Positive 3. Negative times negative is positive. Then positive 3 and negative 3, that will be 0. Cancel. Negative x squared and positive x squared, that will also be 0. So the remaining is x plus delta x plus x plus delta x is 2x delta x. We have one coefficient there, one imaginary coefficient there. 1 plus 1 is 2x plus delta x. And then we have delta x squared. Then let's get its like term. That will be the delta x. In this term, we have delta x. In this term, we have 2 delta x. So we can get like terms. Then it will be like that. When we are going to multiply this, the result is still the same with this. Delta x times 2x is 2x delta x, and delta x times delta x is delta x squared. We did that in order for us to divide in step number 4. In step number 4, we're going to divide delta y by delta x is equals to, copy this one, delta x times 2x plus delta x divided by delta x. So cancel, cancel. So the remaining equation is 2x plus delta x. Now in step number 5, we're going to convert all delta x to 0. Substitute, I mean. So that will be 2x plus 0. The value of delta x is 0. Let's substitute it here. So 2x plus 0 is 2x. Now this is the final answer. Okay, we're going to have another example. You can pause the video if you want so you can try it yourself. Now, what if we have this kind of function that is a fraction form? So we're going to do the same. Let's start with the step 1. Substitute y by y plus delta y. And let's substitute x by x plus delta x. Step 2. Let's transpose y to the right side of the equation. It will be left with delta y over 1x plus delta x minus y. Okay? In step 3, let's substitute y with its value. So that will be delta y is equals to 1 all over x plus delta x minus 1 over x. Now let's get its LCD. In getting its LCD, we just have to multiply this one, and then that will be x plus delta x times x. Let's divide this to this. X plus delta x times x divided by x plus delta x is x. And x times 1 is x. When we are dividing this denominator to this two equation, all we have to do is cover it. So you can easily understand it. Divide this to this. And since they are the same, so the remaining is x. What left is should be multiplied to its numerator, that is x times 1. That's why we get this. So same procedure, x plus delta x divided by x. So cover this, so the remaining is x plus delta x. Then let's multiply it with its numerator. That will be negative. Don't forget the parenthesis, x plus delta x. Okay, did you get it? Now let's distribute the negative sign. This one, negative times x is negative x. Negative delta x will be negative delta x. Then copy x plus delta x and then multiply by x. Sorry. Sorry. Then let's cancel this one. X minus x is 0. So the remaining is negative delta x all over x plus delta x times x. In step number 4, we are going to divide the equation by delta x. That will be delta y all over delta x. Divide this by delta x and divide this by delta x. Negative delta x all over negative delta x times x plus delta x times x. Then let's cancel. The answer will be negative 1 all over x plus delta x times x. And in step 5, the limit of a function when delta x approaches to 0. So let's substitute delta x with 0. So in the denominator, we have 1 delta x. So let's convert that to 0. Let's simplify. That will be cancelled. So the remaining is x times x. That will be negative 1. X times x is equals to x squared. Now this is the final answer.